They say that necessity is the mother of invention, but in the Terran coalition we have a different saying. Desperation is the father of monsters. When the extra-dimensional wardens fled our galaxy in case file 006, they left behind a gift. Or rather, they left behind their livestock. On the mining colony of Terra 106, the mountains had stood up. These were the Titans, biological entities of obsidian, magma, and silicon, towering 3 kilometers into the atmosphere. The wardens had used light and gravity to herd them, to sing them to sleep. But the wardens were gone. And humanity does not sing. We build. Admiral Vance looked at these dormant gods of rock and fire, and he didn't see animals. He saw chassis. He saw the ultimate heavy assault platform. The order came down from high command. Wake them up and give them guns. This was the birth of Project Atlas. It was not a clean process. The wardens respected the Titans. We violated them. The engineering corps descended upon the sleeping giants like a swarm of parasites. We didn't have gravity beams to lift them, so we built scaffolding around their limbs, miles of steel trussing that looked like spider webs against the black skin of the monsters. The first challenge was the armor. A Titan is tough, but the Pale Kings destroy matter at a molecular level. We needed to augment them. We forged plates of neo-titanium alloy thick enough to stop a nuclear warhead. But you cannot simply glue armor to a living rock. You have to bolt it on. The drilling phase was the stuff of nightmares. Industrial diamond drills, the size of skyscrapers, bored into the shoulders of the sleeping giants. When the drills hit the magma veins that served as their blood, the Titans would twitch in their sleep, causing earthquakes that registered 7.0 on the Richter scale. Geysers of molten gold would erupt from the wounds, instantly vaporizing the unfortunate workers on the scaffolding. 300 engineers died just installing the shoulder mounts. They were incinerated in seconds. But the work didn't stop. It couldn't stop. The silence of the void was getting louder every day. Once the hard points were drilled, we installed the weaponry. We took the Odin's Spear-class railguns, weapons so massive they were designed to be mounted on moons for orbital defense, and we bolted them to the Titans' backs. Each gun was the size of an aircraft carrier. When fired, the recoil alone would shatter a normal ship. But the Titans were grounded. They were the ground. But the gun was useless without a trigger. And a Titan is a wild animal. It doesn't take orders. This led to the neural drift program. We realized we couldn't drive them with a joystick. We had to override their nervous system. We had to insert a human mind into a geological brain. The pilot candidates were not chosen for their reflexes. They were chosen for their mental trauma. It was discovered that the Titans responded best to minds that understood pain. Minds that were broken. Lieutenant Kale was the first. He was a survivor of the Aurelia Prime massacre. He had watched his family turn to dust. He had nothing left but rage. He was perfect. The integration chamber was inserted directly into the Titan's skull. A cockpit drilled into the pineal gland of the monster. Kale strapped into the chair. The neural spikes were inserted into his spine. Initiating drift. The technician's voice crackled over the comms. The connection was not gentle. It didn't feel like putting on a glove. It felt like drowning in lava. Kyle screamed. For 10 seconds, his mind was ripped apart. He wasn't human anymore. He was rock. He was heat. He felt the weight of tectonic plates on his shoulders. He felt the itch of the atmosphere on his skin. He felt the millions of years of slumber. And he felt the pain, the agony of the steel bolts driven into his bones, the crushing weight of the railguns on his back. The Titan was screaming in his mind, a sound like grinding continents. "Abort!" the medical officer shouted. "His vitals are spiking. The Titan is rejecting him." "No," Kyle gritted out, blood pouring from his nose. "Hold the link. I can explain it to him." In the psychic void, Kyle didn't fight the monster. He showed it his memories. He showed it the footage of the Obsidian Covenant. He showed it the darkness that was coming. He showed it the Pale Kings. He projected a single thought into the beast's mind. "They are coming to eat us. They are coming to put out your fire." The Titan stopped fighting. The screaming in Kael's head turned into a low, rumbling growl. A growl of agreement. On the surface of Terra 106, the impossible happened. Subject Alpha, the largest of the Titans, opened its eyes. They didn't glow with the soft orange of magma anymore. They burned with the cold, electric blue of the reactor strapped to its chest. The giant moved. Dust and ice fell from its body like an avalanche. It raised an arm, causing a hurricane of displaced air. The movement wasn't sluggish or animalistic. It was precise. It was military. The massive railgun on its shoulder whined as the capacitors charged. The sound was deafening, a high-pitched scream of stored energy. "Drift stable," Kael's voice came over the fleet channel. It sounded deeper, distorted, resonating with the voice of the mountain. "Systems green. Subject Alpha is online. We are ready." Admiral Vance watched from the bridge of the flagship. He saw the 3-kilometer-tall soldier standing amidst the clouds, armed with a gun that could crack a planet. "What do we call it?" his aide asked, staring in horror and awe. Vance smiled. It was a cold, predatory smile. "We call it the Titan Core. The Wardens used them as pets. We are using them as heavy infantry. We have retrofitted 5 of them. 5 walking apocalypses. The cost was high. The pilots will burn out their brains in less than a year. The Titans are in constant agony from the cybernetics. It is cruel. It is grotesque. It is a crime against nature. But when the Pale Kings arrive, they will not find a frightened species hiding in the dark. They will find mountains that move. They will find volcanoes that shoot back. We have turned the geography of our worlds into weapons. We have militarized the very crust of our planets. Let them come. Let the kings come from the dark. We will meet them with